I probably have been dead. If I continued like this, I've been probably dead. And funny enough, because when I was young, I never see myself over 35 years old. And if I keep my lifestyle I had at this moment, I probably have been dead by 35 years old. So now I'm 42. So I'm still alive and I'm actually very good because actually this leads me to yoga. At one point, these problems leads me to yoga. I tried it and I got hooked.
Action!
And namaste. Welcome to the Spirit of Yoga with special podcast episodes with exclusive guests straight from a small island in Thailand into our Bollywood film studio. Jeff and Nicola joining us for this unique opportunity to explore the purpose and meaning of life. And I'm very honored and blessed to have these special guests in our studio today. We used to be dancing on the ecstatic dance floor together here in wonderful Bali, but then these two wonderful lovebirds escaped our ivory and have been flying around the world. And now they stranded very desperately on a small island in Thailand where they live the paradise life in new surroundings. Where I actually used to live, I moved there 18 and a half or 19 years ago to that same bay where they are now living. And we just last week had a conversation and I was telling them anecdotes from 2 decades ago. I didn't want to stop in the nostalgia. They were getting a bit bored. Yeah, times have changed. It's not the same anymore, but I know it's still paradise. And I'm very thankful that we are now together here in this life setting, sharing some of the good life wisdom secrets from the tropical islands straight into the global yogic heart. So welcome, Jeff. Welcome, Nicola. So nice to have you in our Spirit of Yoga podcast and welcome you to our yogic family. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're so happy to be here, Burkhard, and have this amazing talk with you.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure.
And yes, it's true, we're in paradise. We have to admit. And it's an amazing place here. We miss Bali as well, so we come soon and visit you and dance with you again. But for now, we are very good here. We love it.
Yeah, one of the shared passions is the ecstatic dance. And this is actually where we met here in the Balinese yoga capital, Ubud, on the Yoga Barn ecstatic dance floor. Sunday lunchtime, no shoes, some tattoos, but definitely no talking, no phones, no camera, no drugs, and high vibe yogic airlines where we go from cloud 7 to cloud 11 on the ecstatic dance floor. And then I remember the both of you were actually going deeper into that. We met on some other neighboring islands. And then, Jeff, I remember you organized this amazing ecstatic dance video recording in the resort, which was like a super fancy terrace resort above a jungle canyon with like terraced pools with like 30 40 feet, meaning 10-15 meters in between the terraces of the pool, like the most stunning resort. And you organized an ecstatic dance with like 2 drones and 5 camera people filming in this tropical paradise resort. I still remember those days of almost falling off the railing there. So this is one of
exactly this where you were standing there and you were in your element and we were like, Burkhard, we're not sure if this is such a good spot to dance on. No, it's fine. And on the camera, it just looks so stunning.
To be honest, what just comes to my mind, it's a bit ridiculous to say, but I think I need to check it on the video. I think I was wearing the same trousers as I'm wearing today, and I don't wear them regularly. It's like just for special occasions, and not intentionally. And I need to verify if it's really true, but I think it was these rare trousers, my favorite bell button flare trousers, which I intuitively put on today for our special podcast. Oh, so funny. Many anecdotes about that could be told. I remember the racing drone pilot flying through the canyon there and all the rest of
Malika
it.
there is a DJ, right? And she is just
DJ
like, she's amazing. So she brought the vibe and she brought the Gaia vibe, and we were in this jungle and everywhere around this huge resort we were dancing. It was just insane.
Yeah, we gotta actually, what we have to do is link that YouTube video which you published online, link it in the description in the show notes of this podcast here. So find the link to that video below because it's legendary and you probably otherwise will not coincidentally find it in your feed. So check out the documentation of that one. My goodness, legendary.
And so full set.
Yes.
Featuring Burkhard almost flying over.
Yeah, it's like a proper 45-minute, 1 hour set or something. I remember.
It was 1.5 hours even, I think.
1.5 even.
1 hour.
A long 1 hour something. A long set. I remember how we were praying for the sun to come out. It was like getting cloudy, and we were like, "Oh my God, how can we show the paradise without the sun?" And then the sky opened, and we had the perfect scenery.
For the recording, and then it rained again.
Exactly.
Malika's rituals. Yes, she did that actually. She talked about it that she did that in Africa a lot of times, and it really helped. And now we did it, and we were like, "What is going on?"
That was just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, she was playing on the ecstatic dance, and we were flying high again together. So sooner or later, you got to come back to the Bali ecstatic dance. But to be honest, I'm almost even more jealous that you're dancing just in the small island in Thailand, in pyramids there, which is, to be honest, from my perspective, the best ecstatic dance in the world. It's wow, top notch.
It's like this energy, what is generated there, we never found that anywhere else. So for all of you guys who are listening, if you want to experience ecstatic dance, of course, Bali is always a good idea. But if you really want to have the raw, really authentic energy vibe where you feel like, is this even possible? Then come to Koh Phangan, to Pyramids, and check it out.
Pyramids yoga, the ecstatic dance on Sundays there. It goes like on for like 2.5, 3 hours. It gave me goosebumps when you were just mentioning to it. I get like the energy rising directly. It's like the interesting thing about it, and we didn't want to talk about ecstatic dance. It was not in our script. But as we talk about, in some ways, I find purpose there. One of the meanings of my yogic life in paradise is definitely on the dance floor. And what is in the pyramids yoga dance so inspiring is because of the pyramid shape of the building and the dance floor. It forms a circle. People are dancing in a circle, and not towards the stage, towards the DJ. And that makes a very unique atmosphere because on most concerts, anyhow, but also on most dance floors, be it whatever type of style of music, it's always everybody facing the stage, the DJ. And it gives this kind of like in a row, and nobody's really looking at each other. You just see the people from behind in front of you. And just actually 2 or 3 weeks ago in Bali, we broke that spell when we had the setup with Rayo, famous DJ, in the center. He set himself up with a DJ table in the center of the dance floor, and it completely changed the vibe. It was a complete game changer, and it reminded me so much of Pyramid. Yes, we got to encourage. If you can make it to Asia, come to our ecstatic dance floors. If not, find the tribal community and your yogic high vibe alternative friends in your ecstatic dance. Or if you don't have ecstatic, then go for 5 rhythms, Gabriel Roth style. But hit some of those dance floors and learn how to celebrate without any substances, because it's really so heart opening. And as mentioned, for me, it's so meaningful to connect to the community in that way. Good. So after this surprise opening, nice nostalgia of the good old days, which are happening every Sunday here. We can now move to some other topics, purpose, meaning, how to go deeper into this meaningful life. So this is a question which was driving me for the last 30 years. What's the purpose of my life? How can I contribute to the well-being of the planet? How can I have a purpose which really makes the difference, and not just waste my lifetime with foolish things? So I had that question for the last 30 years, and I'm sure many of our viewers and listeners are wondering about similar questions, how they can contribute and make a difference on this planet. So I'm curious about your journey, about this giving meaning and purpose to your own life. So I'm actually curious how your biography was unfolding, because on the dance floor we don't talk because it's not allowed to talk there. So we had many conversations, but still there's a lot of mysteries in our friendship. I know many things about you, but still some of your biography and purpose meaning I'm very curious actually to discover in this public setting today. So this is how we like to do it, have these friendships made available, accessible. It's like a fireside chat where we meet in public and let other people listen in to our secret yogic life story. So please, whoever of you wants to start to share about your yogic journey, I'm curious how that unfolded.
Want me to start?
Mm-hmm.
So actually, spirituality, personal development was actually always a part of my life, but I was not really aware of it, and I was not really practicing it so much. Like, what I mean by this, when I started to really look into it when I became 30, and I really had a little crisis there. In this year, a lot of things happened in my life. I broke up with my boyfriend. I was almost for 10 years. I started a new job where I was a bit overwhelmed. I had no vacation. So there was a lot going on, and my birthday is on the 30th of December, so end of the year. And I had my 30th birthday with more than 60 people there. And then I was just around midnight, I was just crying. And then this for hours, I really had like this crisis. And on the next day, I woke up and was like, okay, this was the worst day in my life. And this is like, I was super feeling so bad about it, that I was, all these people and all of this. But actually, this event just helped me to reflect on, okay, Nicola, what's going on? Like, you don't feel good. Something is there. You really have to now take a look what's there. And actually, now when I look back, this is the beauty of life, that this moment actually was the most important moment and the most precious moment in my life, because I started to really look at it. And then I saw that the job I'm doing is not what I really want to do. It's not what I really feel. And I'm German too, as you, Burkhard. So in our society, a lot of times it's like, oh, life is not like a dreamland, and you just have to work, whatever. Even if you don't like it, this is just how it is. And I always felt deep inside, this cannot be for me just how it is. I don't want to be and live a life I actually don't really want to live. So for me, a lot changed here. I went to a travel for 3 months to Mexico and Colombia by myself the very first time, and it was the most amazing journey ever. So to everyone out there, if you feel a bit afraid of doing a traveling by yourself, I really encourage you to do this, because the way you experience yourself is so different, because you have only you. It's just you. And there is no one you can rely on. There is no one you can ask for things. Of course, the people around you, there are so many amazing people on this planet. But I mean, usually you go with your partner, with your friend. And this time, this traveling in Mexico and Colombia for myself was amazing. And I met exactly the right people to exact the right time. And I started diving into spiritual topics, into Tantra, I was in Masunte. We also talked about that, Burkhard. So this was my very first experience. And the people I had conversations about were all about personal development. How can we grow? What is the meaning of life? Why are we here? Like really deep stuff. And to this time, I just was very open-minded and very curious. And I think this is the key for me, to be curious, to allow yourself to explore different things. And so I started then to really dive into it, self-discovery tools, learning more about myself, about yoga, about meditation, about all of the things, because I felt such a resonance. And then, of course, I went to Bali after another year. And Bali, I mean, the spiritual Mecca, you can really, I mean, especially Ubud, you go there and you get everything on a like a buffet. You can try everything, no matter if it's breath work or Kundalini yoga, which I was so wow, breath work as well. I mean, we had to get this workshop. And so there is a lot of amazing things to discover. And here, actually, I felt like, wow, okay, so I really went into this direction. This is what I want to do. I really want to immerse myself in spirituality and personal development. And I would love to get an energy exchange. Like, I would love to make my income, my living, just by diving into these topics and talking about it and creating products around it and helping actually people to also do the same. And this was not just, it was a journey, right? I just dived into it and I did the first thing. I go traveling and then everything is opening up. So this is the beauty, I feel. It happened to me a lot of times when we're scared and we don't want to go there. But then if we just do the first tiny step in this direction and the universe just supports you, and then the things are just opening up. And then in a few months, you feel like, what just happened actually, right? So this was for me, this experience. So I'm very passionate about it. Also, when I look into self-discovery tools, what we can talk about later, because we're very, very, very passionate about it. I got so much confirmation exactly about that. And so, yeah, I'm here now with this beautiful man on my side, really living my purpose, diving into all this personal development and self-discovery tools and practices, and just trying to grow and to actually feel good. This feeling good here on this planet. And really, because this suffering, what we sometimes have is so trained, like a lot of times we don't even know how to really feel good and to allow ourselves to really just, explore this life with an open mind and heart. And just, so yeah, I am practicing this every day. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We're humans, right? In a human experience. But yeah, that's actually my story in a nutshell.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Loving it. Yeah, and so many parallels. I remember also traveling to Latin America at age 20 or so, backpacking there for months and months through South and Central America, and trying to find purpose there as well. Meeting meaningful people, as you said, meeting the right people in the right place, beautiful alignment. And I remember one of the purposes there was then helping those disadvantaged people. And I founded a development aid organization to support farmers in Peru and try to give meaning and support, or give support to them. And out of that, get some meaning. So I remember these meaning search journeys in Latin America. So there's some beautiful overlaps. Like you said, Mazunte in Mexico and all the rest of the good stuff. And then exactly Bali, full of the purpose giving techniques, practices, modalities. So makes a lot of sense what you shared, and wonderfully aligned, like you say, living the good life where we sometimes feel almost bad about it. No, like, can I allow myself? Can I afford myself? Because I can give it away. Nicola, you're same as me from Germany, even though we left a while ago. But still, in this German critical mindset, there can be this tendency that we don't allow ourselves, that we feel guilty for feeling good. And then, kind of on purpose, we kind of enjoy ourselves feeling bad, and then everybody's feeling bad. And like, yeah,
That's
that's
no
great,
worries,
but more.
no worries, because we see, especially in Germany, a lot of times what we see, and this is not in general, but this is just what I experienced and what I observed, is this improvement all the time, checking what is not working, but also the German way of, oh, it has to be this way, and we have to really be loyal, and it has to be structured, and it has to be sourced to a certain time. And of course, and then we are focusing actually more on how we can improve ourselves. So how can we make it better, and how can we, and then we start to complain, and then it's just so normal. So the reality, we are growing up a lot of times is exactly that we're just experiencing it this way. So we feel this is reality, this is normal. But then we go to places like Bali or Kupangan where the people are open-minded and you feel like, what? Like how is it possible that everyone is so high vibe and so open-minded? Doesn't mean they're not going through deep stuff or through emotional challenging times, but the vibe and the mindset around life is different. Yeah. So it's so much easier for us then, of course. And if you really have the freedom and you work online or something like this, and you can really go abroad and you have just a few months to experience it. And this is what I did. I had no job at the beginning. This were 3 months for just, I had savings. I checked it. And then I saw all these people working online. And I was like, this is what I want. I want to have the freedom. I want to travel around, but I have to also make money somehow. So this is actually how I created all my journey. I came home, I started to search something online and I trained myself, and then I went to Bali. So this is how I did it. And then I put myself into this frequencies, into these places, and then something just shifts. It helps us just to see differently and get a different reality, I would say.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicola, for sharing that courageous journey to step forward into a new life. Quite touching how you described, no? Like on your 30th birthday, almost devastated, lack of purpose, and then you turned it around so radically, traveled the world, and then found the purpose, found a way to earn a living, to contribute to the well-being of others. Wow, spot on. Amazing. Huh? Wow. So, wow. Stunning. So, Jeff, I know some headlines and subheadings of your life, but I'm curious to dive deeper, not only into the peaks, but also the valleys, and learn a bit more about your roots and your background and what brought you to our yogic alternative communities.
Yeah, so I come from very far. Actually I like to see I like a metaphor of life like a video game. So we have this character and we have these traits and we have these powers and we have this mission to do. So I incarnated in a very rational family. My dad is an engineer, entrepreneur, and I actually from very young age I was really about freedom and understood that if I want to be free in my life, I will have to be able to generate my own money and be an entrepreneur and or at least having a good diploma and stuff like this. So I actually, and I fighted a lot with my mom when I was an adolescent because of this, because I wanted freedom, she wanted to control. And so we had a lot of issues there. But I started actually really early to be an entrepreneur. I was selling computers to my school teachers, and I was really kind of hustling and wanting to make things happen, really in technology, totally disconnected from nature while living in the center of France, surrounded by nature. But I was always behind my computer. And so yeah, it was quite a journey, and actually in my family all was not scientific, was dismissed. So if it's not scientific, you cannot even explore it, you know. It's just like, so all the spirituality stuff was just considered nonsense. And so he was really blocked actually from this. And so I followed the path of my dad. I became an engineer in computer science. And I graduated and I started my career as a corporate job. And I actually felt miserable. In 10 months, I was depressed. My light was gone. And I actually quitted. I actually quitted and started entrepreneurship with partners in startups, in the startup scene. And I was creating at the same time my digital marketing agency. And I was like working. And I remember that one day, actually, I was looking at what was the different marketing approach, and I found a website called numerologist.com, and they were offering like free reading about your life path and stuff like this. And I was like, okay, I'm curious. Okay, numerologist is still in the woo thing, but it's Pythagoras that created kind of the system. So Pythagoras, I remember at school, we were talking about these gems in mathematics. So I just dive into this and I was shocked because I got my report and they were telling me that actually freedom is the main topic of your life, kind of, and you have to really understand what it means, and you have to go to different experiences. And it was telling me also about all my obsession for success and making it happen and being financially free, and all this stuff was there. And I was like, how? So this kind of switched my mind, and then I became curious about personal development, spirituality, and then, but I was still working for years, and actually I came to a point where I was super bad because I was not sleeping well. I was overweight, 16 kilos. I was stressed. I was really in a bad shape. I was like beginning of heart condition. I probably have been dead if I continued like this. I've been probably dead. And funny enough, because when I was young, I never see myself over 35 years old. And if I keep my lifestyle I had at this moment, I probably have been dead by 35 years old. So now I'm 42. So I'm still alive and I'm actually very good because actually this leads me to yoga. At one point, these problems led me to yoga. I tried it and I got hooked straight away. And my brain stopped, like my brain was always so many ideas, like you, Burkhard. So many. But for the first time in my life, I could stop. And then I just jumped in and I just go to yoga every week. And then I've been to a yoga retreat in India. I understood the structure of a class, then I could self-practice. And actually changed my life so much. I lost 16 kilo, I rejuvenated 10 years. I kind of matured 10 years at the same time in my brain, my mind. And it's opened me the doors of personal development and spirituality. I felt so good and so connected that I wanted to bring it back. And I wanted to bring that to the people, that they should know that yoga exists and it's a technology that you can use to feel good and be in good health and expand your awareness and consciousness. And I was like on a mission. I really felt like I had to share this. I had to share this discovery with people, because when I came back from this yoga retreat in India, I was in Paris in the metro and I was seeing zombies going to the office, and I was like, no, guys, no. And so I started this online academy of personal development, and from there I explored everything. Like in 10 years, we did 300 programs, from NLP to Tantra to energy healing to talking with spirit guides to how to manage your time, like everything. And actually, through this whole journey, I understood actually why it really took off for me, the yoga and the mission of guiding people through their own journey and to their own potential. And the thing is that these things were actually revealed to me by looking at my date of birth and my name through different approaches. And that's actually how I I came to this, and now as I'm an engineer, I just dive in with my rational mind in a way to understand the systems. And I found that actually this is really useful perspective. And if I could knew all of this from a very early age, I would have progressed much faster and with much less pain and problems and frustrations. So yeah, that's why I'm so fascinated about this question of finding your true calling and aligning yourself with what you're here to learn, because you choose this life, you choose this time, you choose this family to just have a human experience, grow your consciousness and the global consciousness. And so if you know, or if you have hints of why you're here and what you're here to learn and to experiment, then you can really embrace it and also have more compassion for your challenges, and so live a more aligned and fulfilling life. And then when actually you make the switch, suddenly whole become more fluid because it's just aligned with what you're here to do. And so, but I didn't know all of this before. I just got, when I started to read these tools, I got confirmations that actually my intuition and the things I was living was actually what I had to do.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Wow. What a turning, huh? Out of the very rational, science, evidence-based, material mindset, all the way out of the computer world into the meaning, purpose of life, to personal development, energy healing, and all the rest of it. Wow. Like you said initially, you've come a long way. It's a big arc of your life, the Arc de Triomphe, we can say in the French context. So finally coming to a culmination that you found a deeper purpose, meaning, alignment, heartfelt calling, that not wasting our energy with giving in a career path to some corporate enterprise all our life energy and getting lost in this kind of zombie existence as you described it, but instead turning it around in such a vibrant, meaningful existence, contributing to your own well-being and helping so many others to align themselves. And I find it quite fascinating how your entry point was through the numerology. So as an engineer's entry point to spirituality through the numbers, of course, it makes a lot of sense. It's very obvious, actually. And it has, of course, overlaps with my own academic science-based background, where I've been living in the university world also for almost a decade. So I came also from this more rational and material focused, objectifying mind to spirituality, and had the same experience of doubts, concerns, but then opening, where it was just like you described, just kind of so obviously self-explaining. It just matches so well as you described with the numerology, but also with your India journey. I resonated so much with that. Then coming back home, it's kind of like, gotta educate other people. They gotta find out about this as well. They also need to benefit from this heart opening practices, and then this kind of enthusiasm of wanting to pass that on. It's such a beautiful, uplifting inspiration, which is contagious and can inspire then also other people. So thank you, Jeff, for sharing that context. And beautiful to see your freedom-seeking mind coming to fruition in all these entrepreneurial endeavors, and in this way giving access to other people. And there was, in a way, a common theme between the both of you. Nicola, you were mentioning a dragonfly just landing on my knee here. Bali power. You were mentioning how in Bali the dragonflies get served straight, and how all the spiritual wisdom is kind of served on a silver tray, on a buffet, and so accessible, and gives us in some ways shortcuts to discover these things quickly. And that's also, Jeff, what you were mentioning, that many of these insights which you found in the different modalities can shortcut our own journey, that we don't need to learn it the hard way and waste our time with detours and getting lost in dead ends, but to have this possibility to see more clearly, cut through the superficial BS and just all in to the stuff which really matters, instead of getting lost in some side tracks and alleys where we hit our head against the wall uselessly and waste our time and energy there. So maybe you can share some more about these shortcuts which you have found, so we can understand how to, in a way, fast track our personal and spiritual evolution.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think what fascinated me the most into this is that it's kind of an imprint. You are when you're born, when you are like get out of a human body with your own human body, you get imprinted with the very first things. Your name is not a coincidence. Your date of birth, your place of birth is not a coincidence. This is full of really interesting perspective on your life that you were about to live. And so actually, what we do to get faster and to help people understand.
Maybe we can share before you go right away there about some tools and
Yes.
how we discover them.
Yes, I was going there actually. So I told about numerology, and it's really interesting system with actually Pythagoras, the fundamentalist, said that everything is vibration in the universe, and numbers are vibration. And what he did a correlation also with the name of your names, so the letters with numbers, and he created a whole system that helps you calculate kind of the vibration of your being in different dimensions. So that's actually where it started. But then I got curious about astrology, because for me, astrology as an engineer was like horoscope, and it was equal bullshit.
The same actually for us in Germany, because astrology, we see that in the newspapers, in the horoscopes. So we don't put so much attention. We feel it's a bit like, yeah, it's a bit woohoo, but we are not aware how powerful astrology is, and that you could learn astrology. I mean, you have the Vedic astrology, you have the Western astrology. There is so much wisdom. You could learn it for a lifetime and you would not be done with it, because it's so rich and it gives you such deep insights. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a very ancestral practice actually, and the thing is that when you really go deep into it and you understand the system, the house, the sign, the planets, the aspects, and all what is in your natal chart, then you can really look at specifics and understand a lot of dynamic in your life and why you are behaving the way you behave, why you are thinking the way you think, where you are always in this type of situations and not in this other type of situations. And so it's a really deep, interesting thing that astrology is a really fascinating topic. So, but it's very well known and very well misunderstood, I would say, by the masses. But when you really start to dive in and be curious and learn about things, this is a mine of really cool information. But I think that the other, so that's, I would say, two shortcuts, and numerology, astrology is another shortcut. And the third one that we actually discovered in Bali, came in 2019 to be a speaker in a conference. And then my Russian friends were talking all about human design. They were like, yeah, this is so cool. You have to check it out. What is your profile? What is your type? And stuff like this. And then I got like, oh, wow, that's really interesting. This is kind of already a holistic approach to integrate different symbolic systems with the chakras and the energy layers. And I was like, wow, really interesting. And then I really dive into this. And And actually, I found that here my signature gate in human design is all about unity, bringing people back to themselves, mind, body, soul, feminine, masculine. And that's why actually yoga was resonating so much with me, because yoga is huge. It's like a reunion. It's like coming back to yourself, to your true spiritual and physical self. And so it explained me a lot about why it was resonating so much for me and for the people around me because of this. And so I would say these three tools are really, yeah, they are shortcuts to know yourself. At least we see it not as the truth, so we are very clear on this, but as potential useful perspective to reflect on and to be able to guide yourself through your own life.
Yeah, I think that for me, self-discovery tools is exactly self-discovery, which means get to understand yourselves better. And for me, for example, I was always really like ambitious and very independent, and I did it, and I was the first one in class who was protecting the whole class, and I then had the problems with the teacher, and so I had very like here and there some traits, and I also was judging myself around it. And when I actually discovered all of these different tools, then it made so much sense. I have 6 Capricorns, for example, in my chart. There's a lot of ambition, a lot of power, a lot of horns. There's a lot of, and then I'm incarnated in a German body on top of it. So the combination is quite strong. You can imagine. If you know that, if you get insights around that, then there's so much more compassion, understanding, and you are not judging yourself for being the way you are. You understand yourself better, and also your partner, because what we did is we checked everything around it together, and then it made so much sense why I am the way I am, why I also have some challenges here and there around perfectionism, for example, or detail oriented, which can be very, very useful and amazing. But as I was spreading that all over my life, also in situation where it should or doesn't make sense, or it's creating more suffering because I want to make it perfect so I cannot move anymore. So to understand this, it just gives me so much more clarity and insights, and I reflected on it, and also around my strength. We call it superpowers. We all have that. We all have unique traits and strength in us. But the thing is that a lot of times we're not even aware of it. Or when we feel a certain thing, we don't know if this is very unique to us, because how can we know? We're just in our body. We don't know. We cannot really compare in the sense like, I'm not sure if this is really unique to me or not. But for me, my experience when I discovered astrology, numerology, human design, and I got all this amazing, enriching insights and perspectives, I get a lot of confirmation what I already felt. So it was, for us, the tools are more around resonance and less about believing, because you read something about yourself and then you resonate and you feel like, my God, this is finally a confirmation that this is one of my superpowers. And now I really believe in myself and I go full on. Sometimes this is all we need. Mm-hmm. And this is what these tools can help us. Or you go through patterns over and over again and you suffer over and over again. And then the question is, okay, how long do you want to suffer? Or when do you actually want to feel better? When do you want to move on? Because there is so much beauty to discover. And through these tools, I saw, oh, okay, there are some challenges here. And these are patterns for coming back. And then I read about it through these tools and got perspective. I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand. Also about purpose, life paths. There are so many amazing perspectives from those tools. And again, it's not the truth. We're not saying this is it. This is your purpose. And we are writing that down and that's it. No, it's not about this. It's about resonating with what are the perspectives. And for me, it's all around empowerment, all around helping others. It makes so much sense now. And this is actually the beauty. And also as a couple, for us, these tools were game changers in a couple, because we then finally, and we're so unique, all of us, we're human beings, we're so unique, we have our own realities, we think differently, we see differently. Even if someone lets us choose a color, we would say we can say it's a different color. So we really experience this life differently, and this awareness was for me also so powerful, to see that not everyone is thinking the way I think. Not everyone has the same perspective. And this, to a 6-time Capricorn, where I feel this is the right way and we have to go this way, then, and so this helped me to get more compassion for other people around me, perspectives and all of this, and especially in a couple. So he could understand me better, why I am the way I am, because I have this charts, or I have some traits. And so you have more compassion, and our couple started to be so much more vibrant and flowy with love and understanding, because we understood ourselves better, and we could reflect and really work on ourselves individually and together in a couple as well. So it was these tools, and there are many other amazing self-discovery tools, but these tools we just mentioned, they are so powerful. And that's why we actually then decided that we want to combine all of them. We want to combine them to have a holistic perspective, to really see it from different perspectives and angles, because all of these tools, they have amazing insights. But just one alone was for us then, I like that in numerology, but actually there is something missing. Oh, but I love that in astrology, and this is very deep. And then we just decided to combine all of them and created our holistic reading, which is a written report based on your birth data. And we take these tools, analyze your birth data through these tools, combining them, and then you get that in an amazing written report where we dive into certain chapters. You want to talk about the chapters, love?
Yeah, actually, just before this, I just wanted to come back on this idea of the game of life, and we incarnate into characters. And I think that if you want to play a game, you have to know where you go, the rules, and who you are. And so that's why it's actually the game of life. If it's so important to do personal development and self-discovery and stuff, because how can you play this game if you don't know yourself? So it's really, really important and really valuable to take time to contemplate your life and understand yourself better, and also, as you said, being more compassionate. Because most of the time we are our worst critics, and we are first sabotaging our own progress. So I wanted just to come back to this. Really important. And the thing is that on this journey of these are shortcuts, but at the same time they are black holes.
Yes.
In the sense of
there's just too much, right?
When you start to go there, it's a bit frustrating, I would say, because when you search online, you have free resources here and there, and so you can check your natal chart, you can check your numerology, your body graph, and etc. But then you feel overwhelmed because there is first a lot of information, to contradictory information, because one system is saying this, but the other is saying this, and this third is saying this. So what's in the end, who is right, who is wrong? What do I do with this? And then you just go, you check yourself, and then you go see experts. So you take a natal chart reading, a human design reading, a numerology reading. And again, you're like, okay, but in 1 hour and a half we talk, or 2 hours, I have some stuff, but some other stuff doesn't make sense to me. So what do I do with this? And it's actually a lot. What a lot of our clients say is that it's overwhelming. It's a shortcut to know your things, but it's also overwhelming in the way of being able to make sense out of all of this. And it's actually, we had this download in the south of France on the beach, and we were like, oh my God, imagine if we can just combine all of them and being able to synthesize all of this in something that, like, straight to the point. And that's actually what we did. We started to do this. We started to map out what was corresponding in the different system, how we can find insight on the life path in one system and in another systems. What about the purpose? What about the strengths? What about the challenges? And so we started to map it all out, and we created actually a structure that's not specific to each system, but specific to human, like a like a like a game manual, if you want. So and what we do is we first of all go into the identity, so you understand your essence, your emotional self, your social self. And so we start by telling you, okay, what is this character you choose? Okay, this is
It's about actually getting insights on your identity and personality, and really starting by this, because it starts with you. It starts with the way how is your personality, who do others perceive you, how do you how are you in your emotional state, and so on. And then the next journey is the
yeah, and then so you have the character, and then you have an adventure of life, and you have the purpose at the end, but on the way you have challenges, you have things to overcome to be able to grow and make your awareness grow and the consciousness grow. And so the second focus we have is, okay, what are the key challenge I will encounter in my life, and the key
opportunities for growth.
Yeah, and the lessons that becomes opportunities for growth on my journey. And here it's actually interesting because you find the thing that you constantly hit your head on, and the challenges that always come back to you, and you're like, yes, I fixed it this time, but then it come back again in another form until you really get it. And so sometimes, when you read this, you say, okay, so I can maybe just relax a bit in these challenges. And because they are here, they are my big lessons. I'm learning through this, but I have to be compassionate with myself.
Yeah.
This is what I'm here to learn. It will take the time it will take, but it's okay. I don't have to.
Not taking it too serious.
Yeah, too serious or over dramatizing the things and stuff. So that's the challenges. And then, so we come all with strengths from maybe past life experiences, from natural innate embodiment. I don't know exactly where it's coming from, but we have strengths.
Of course we all have from the very beginning. Yeah.
And facilities. I mean, in the sense of it's these strengths we have, we don't even aware of this because it's easy for us. And so we don't value it.
It's natural.
It's natural. It comes easy. We progress super fast in these dimensions, but we don't value it. And some of the clients will say, I didn't know that this was a superpower. And that's true. Actually, I'm doing this and I don't even notice it or value it because it's just
natural to us. Yeah.
And that's actually amazing, because when you know that you have a natural talent, then you can really like ground yourself there and grow from there.
Yeah.
And after this, then actually
exactly, like doubling down on our strengths, to acknowledge them and to actually see them as a value, as a gift, and I don't want to say as an asset, but no, as a special ability, as a superpower, as you call it, which comes easy to us. And because of the habit and the normality of it, seems to be like second nature. It's kind of like, yeah, of course, it's a given. But compared to other people who not so easily have that feature, that personality trait developed, it's actually quite special. And it's like you described before, then a nice outside reflection how we can, in the outside perspective from such a reading, acknowledge these more from an external point of view, because usually we get a bit narrow-minded in our own daily rhythm, taking things for granted.
Totally. And also the society, it's not all, we're not growing up where everyone tells you how amazing you are and what you really did good and where you are really like, wow. No, most of the time it's like this, you have to improve, and here you have to be better, and you have to have a college degree, and the marks are not good. And here it's more about always improving. And it can be just exhausting for us as a human to constantly have to improve and to be better. But this is just a way where we actually acknowledge how amazing we are. We all have our unique qualities. We're so unique. We have our superpowers. But again, sometimes we're not even aware of it, or we know it deep inside, but we're not putting so much attention because we're not sure if this is really true, what we feel. And such this tools, this report just mirrors back, and you resonate with it or not. But fortunately, most of our clients, they resonate a lot and they get empowered. They feel seen, they feel heard, they feel the very first time. And this is so beautiful because this is what a lot of our clients say independently, that they feel seen. They feel seen the very first time in their life, because the sentences they read about themselves, they are so deep and so beautifully written that it's just, and they resonate so deeply with it, which they get a boost of confidence and they have more clarity and more direction. And this is just, it's beautiful. It's deep and it's transformative.
Exactly, the transformational clarity coming due to a more broad and nuanced understanding of our own psychology and mindset and worldviews, character traits, and all the rest of the different unique talents that we bring to the table, that we have to offer. So, yeah, curious
After this,
you go.
just to finish this, we are also giving insights on life, path, and purpose, because we're talking about meaning. So here, this is very, very insightful to, we had that a lot of times, that people, they felt like, oh, I always wanted to do something with people, but actually they work in an office. And they just work in an office because this is just the way it was when they were younger. They were just in the office, and then all the parents are in the office. This is just a normal job. But actually, their heart was yearning for connection, for whatever. And they read that and they were like, oh my God. And then it's up to you if you do the step into a direction like this, if you are, brave enough to follow your heart, because we're not taught that way. We have to usually go with the mind and less with the heart. So this report, this insights from these tools, they just invite us to really resonate. And if it's resonating, being brave enough to go for it. And so we're giving insights around life, path, and purpose at the end, and some amazing holistic suggestions in 4 dimensions of life to really get more clarity and more direction. Yeah.
So complete, like ticks all the boxes and covers the different areas of life in a holistic way, as the name is, holistic reading, where on one hand you bring together the numerology, astrology, human design in a holistic, all-in-one, aligned, coherent manner, as you described. Otherwise, can be contradicting, getting lost, and kind of fragmented. So holistic in that sense, combining the different modalities, but then also giving feedback on the different areas of life. Very complete reading and outside reflection. And as you mentioned, as a resonance, as an inspiration, as an appreciation, and as you described, feeling seen, feeling understood, because it aligns and matches. So this accuracy can be quite astonishing and surprising. That's Jeff, what you said, which kind of converted you out of the engineer, scientific, evidence-based mindset through the mathematical numerology into meaning giving in these alternative modalities. Amazing. So that's a report which you offer on a one-on-one basis per person, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's specific to each person, and it's a written report about 100 pages where we go through.
100 pages.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
Wow,
it,
complete,
holistic.
yeah, I mean,
comprehensive.
the idea is to really give you a treasure map on your whole life, actually, with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
characteristics, so you can actually read this and reread this and find this. Like we have some clients, they say, when I feel doubt or I feel not good, I retake my holistic reading, I reread the superpowers or my mission, and then I found the courage to go back to my mission and stuff like this. So it's
Awesome.
yeah, it's something that we actually also advise to consume bit by bit and really meditate on things, because there will be things that straight away we say, oh yes, that's a confirmation, and there will be stuff like you're like, oh, actually I never really put
Thought
attention
about
there.
it. Yeah.
Maybe there is something that actually I can explore here. And so this is our approach to say, okay, so the thing you resonate already, it's like inside you, you feel it, you add your experience. So it's kind of coming as a like confirmation of the cosmic influence for your life. But then the things that are you're not resonating directly, it's also nuggets for growth, because there is probably stuff that you never even really focus your attention on that actually you may be amazing at, and that you can also actually really fast grow other capacities in these realms.
So all encompassing, definitely. Like you said, comprehensive with 100 pages, like the book of one's own life, like you say, a treasure map, which gives us also some orientation, you know, when we get lost and get confused, don't know what really matters, where to put our attention, what to prioritize. Can be a very unique, personalized, customized map of my own life's journey, to give me more orientation and direction. Amazing. So
We've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
also a bit further, because there is, okay, information doesn't equal transformation. So we need to have action on this information
Yes.
to embody the transformation, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So with this, we had this, what she said, the holistic suggestion. So we took the 4 main dimensions of life, which is love and relationship, money and abundance, health and wellness and well-being, and spirituality and self-improvement. So these are the 4, I would say, main area of human experience. And what we do is we give specific practices and advice to grow in this different dimension, to be more fulfilled in this different dimension, based on our analysis of your cosmic design. So based on our holistic approach, we tell you, okay, so looking at your cosmic design, you should try to do more of this or more of that, or explore more this, explore more that. And so some really practical things that helps you grow, actually.
Love it. Loved how you summarized it so clearly, that information doesn't necessarily bring transformation, and well, we need to take the practical steps. Action is where it's at, and then great that you also incorporate these more hands-on suggestions. To be honest, it sounds kind of like too good to be true, and like a treasure map, journey of my life mapped out. Like to write this book of my life, like how do you do it? It would cost like $1,000 value, I would see in that. Like, how can you provide that for people? Like, it sounds like a massive value that you're offering, which if I would have orientation in my life, more clarity, 100 pages outlining all the background, personality, talents, actionable items, what to do. Sounds like $1,000 worth of value.
Actually, we calculated it's even more. It's just if you do sessions with the different experts, so it's not even a book. It's just a live session with different experts. Costs
True.
you probably 1,500 something like this. So it's actually yes, and the point is our whole mission is to make this accessible to people for a fraction of this price. And how we do this? At the very beginning, we did the very first holistic reading all by ourselves, manually, and trying to map
Just
it out.
Jeff in Tulum, sitting there, had our very first client. We were so happy about it because we still just started everything. And then we were there and we needed 10 days, just Jeff and me, to create this report. It was insane. It was very, oh my God. Oh, when we look back to this, we were like, okay, this idea is brilliant, but we can definitely not serve this amount of people we want to serve if we need 10 days for two of us to do a report. Not possible.
Yeah, absolutely not. But in the process, we actually figured out a lot of stuff, and we then partnered with a friend of mine to join us and help us do technology development. So we can, because in the process we need to do different things, analysis, synthesis, writing, and everything. So we needed somebody who can develop and optimize the time it takes for doing all the things. And actually we really succeeded to make our own software and technology to shrink this time and to make it actually accessible for most of the people.
And then we have a team. We have our team who is doing proofreading, who is checking, and they're really dedicated to it. So
yeah, we have now more than 15 people working in the company. So it's actually a blend of technology and humans that are working together to deliver these reports at a competitive price.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. I think we did an early version of that report when you were still in Bali. I'm definitely curious to discover more the latest iteration of your wonderful summary of the treasure map. So I'm definitely ready to sign up and join with my shortcut, how I like to shortcut things. I won't have time to read it, but I will listen to it. So in my mind, I was already anticipating how I will connect to that map, to that wisdom. So listening is one of my modalities. So I have tools where I can upload the PDF and then listen in.
You don't have to, because we offer your holistic reading in an audio version as well.
We have an option.
Already? You have that already? Amazing. Amazing. So I don't need to use
that. Exactly because of that, because there are a lot of us, they have to drive the car in the morning an hour to work, or they're in the gym, they're cooking. Cannot read that, but they can listen to it. And so we have this
and it's
as well.
It's another thing also in the experience to have somebody who talks to you about you.
Yes,
exactly.
Then you reading the book. So.
Yeah, it's different experience. Got it. Love it. Love it. So I don't need to activate my other apps and software tools, but you already provide an audiobook version. So not just a written book about myself, but a narrated audiobook about my own life's journey. I'm looking forward to that, knowing that it is accurate. The first version, I remember, was already spot on. So I'm curious how that evolved over the last months and years. So looking forward to the latest version of my life shared through the tools of numerology, astrology, human design. People regularly ask me, what's your human design? Like you said, you discovered human design in Bali. People regularly ask me, and I'm like, I guess I'm a manifester. But then let's look closer at the nuances of that reading. So makes me excited and anticipating the clarity coming through that report. So maybe any last comments you would like to share? How to find, what to do? How can people connect to their reading?
Actually, there is another thing that we didn't mention that's actually interesting. It's a bonus in the reading. It's the monthly prediction, monthly and yearly prediction. So because actually there is you have a different timeline in your life, and it's like cosmic currents. It's like there is a month where you are more in creative states, months where you are more in meditative states, months where you are just working, and months there's these different influences actually.
Yeah.
And we offer this also as a bonus for the next 12 months for the people who sign up. And actually, for me, it's like, as a metaphor, it's like you are in the ocean and you're swimming, right? So you can go right or left, and on one side you have to face the waves, and on the other side you can surf the waves. So it's better to know where the currents are coming, so you can turn the plank on the right side and just flow instead of going under.
Going against the stream, yeah.
Mhm.
So actually, back to the question where actually the people can sign up or find us, like what we also have is an amazing glimpse into our holistic reading, which is the Superpowers Report. And our Superpowers Report, because how it started is that we had this amazing product, but the people were not really understanding what is it about. So how, I don't understand, because it's also not so common. Like, okay, what does that mean? So what we did is we created a free experience for people to resonate and to feel into it. It's really this feminine approach of, you get this, you can experience it. If you resonate with what we're delivering to you, you can then choose to go even deeper with our premium holistic reading. And the Superpowers Report, as it says, we have that also as a part in the holistic reading, is talking about your strength. And here in this report, we take your unique birth data and then we give you 3 of your unique strengths, beautifully written in a report and completely without any payment. It's completely for free, just to spread empowerment first. And of course, also give people a glimpse into what we're doing. So this is like, it's a beautiful gift. We have amazing messages we get. It's such an empowering experience. And this is something we would love you to invite, to check that out and to get empowered and to see how amazing you are, and to also share that with your friends and family and read that to them so that they can also give you perspectives on that, because you will see we have a lot of people who tells us these are the most amazing pages I ever read about myself. And it's a great experience. So this is definitely something we invite you. And if you feel the call, you can go deeper into your holistic reading.
Yeah, thanks to Burkhard and the Akasha Yoga Academy, you can actually benefit from this. So
yeah,
that's the idea, to bring you like this insight and empower you. So
exactly.
Take advantage of this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Free access to superpowers, understanding our talents more clearly, so that we can then flow more smoothly, manifest, and actually live our heart's calling, manifest our dreams. Because we go with the flow, with the current, as you were describing. Wonderful. So we'll link that up below in the description text and in the show notes, so people can find their free superpower reading and have the possibility to get empowered, as you described, Nicola, in a really uplifting and emancipating gift provided. So thank you for making that accessible for the Akasha Yoga community, and I trust that people will find benefits and from this new clarity.
Definitely.
And
And we would also love to hear about your experience if the Akasha Academy community is really checking it out, and we would love to know how it resonates, because this is what we're here for. We're here to really empower and to create this amazing self-discovery experience. And for us, it's not just a reading or report, it's really this experience. So please let us know how it resonated with you guys. If you check it out, will be accessible for you guys. And yeah, happy to hear your thoughts and reflection.
Awesome. Great. So around the world we go. I'm curious where we meet next. If it will be in France, in Germany, in Thailand, or in Bali, or elsewhere. Bali, you're coming back? Yes. Please. I cannot wait to welcome you here back home rather sooner than later. We spent the COVID lockdown together here in paradise. It was among the best times of our lives, I think.
I was just talking about exactly this, the COVID time in Bali, which was, I think this was like, it was out of this world, right?
Yeah. So much community connection, and the whole tropical island empty just for our own exploration. It was quite a blessing to be here during these very demanding times generally on the planet. We had quite some celestial openings here on our island of the gods, no doubt. So yes, please come back home so we can fly high on the ecstatic dance floor. And then please drag me back to Kopangan, to the ecstatic dance floor there, and all the rest of the good stuff of the Paradise Island.
Maybe you're visiting us before. Maybe you come here to dance with us here, and then we go to Bali.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll open the ecstatic airlines to connect the Paradise Islands to each other.
Oh, we talked about that, right? You had the ecstatic dance on the plane. Who was that? Was it with you guys? We discussed about this crazy idea. Yeah.
Awesome. Loving it. Oh, Great. So thank you for sharing your radiant, uplifting presence, all the good stuff you bring to the planet, all the masterminds and all the beautiful sharings and offerings you give to the community. Truly appreciating your high vibe and your availability to make that accessible to more and more people around the world. Congratulations on your big success. 15 people in your team already. So spreading the good news and emancipating people to shine brightly. Thank you so much for all your contributions, and very much looking forward to the next steps of our shared journey.
Yeah, thank you so much, Burkhard, for inviting us here to your beautiful podcast. Spreading that with your community, it means a lot to us, so that we can talk, because we know that your community is very, very, it's a very deep bond you have to your community. And we hear you talking about the Akasha community like with such a proud, loving way. So we really are so grateful that you trust us, that we can be here and we can speak to you and your community and share our gifts and our amazing explorations. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing your space and time, your presence and heartfelt enthusiasm. That was the Wisdom in Motion of the Spirit of Yoga podcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying all the way to the end. Long episode today. We love you, and we're sending you blessings from Bali straight into your open hearts. Keep on shining. Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch. All the best.